Okay. Well, first off, thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you for allowing us to come represent our great university in South Alabama. We enjoy our time here. Thank you to your staff, Sunbelt. Phenomenal time. I remember this 26 years ago, getting an opportunity to be the representative for our team, and the time that I had and the great time I had representing our school. And you've allowed these young men to have the same opportunity, and they've enjoyed their experience. And it's always good to be back in my home state, a state that I love, that I grew up in, and a town that I've enjoyed so much. Growing up in New Orleans has a special place in my heart, but we just really appreciate the hospitality, Sunbelt, and just that overall Louisiana vibe, and really appreciate it. I want to say thank you to our administration, too. You don't get these platforms very often. Most of the time you're talking post-game, either after a great win or a disappointing loss. And sometimes you don't get the opportunity to say the thank yous that you want. And I want to thank President Bonner. I want to thank Dr. Urban, our athletic director. I want to thank the entire support staff, everybody from tickets to facilities that allow our summer camps to go on, that help us with transportation, help us go recruit. It truly does take a village, and you start to learn that as you get older. And so I'm very proud of our campus. I'm very proud of our athletic department. I'm very proud of our city. The state of Mobile is a great place in the state of Alabama. It's unique. We're entrenched now. We've been there 5 years now. My kids are entrenched. My wife is entrenched. And I love our town. I love our city. I love our community, and very honored to be able to represent it. And all we want to do is make you proud. Two guys here that are going to make you proud are senior Jordan Davis and Darius McKenzie. Jordan, obviously, I've had more time with him in the past, being on the offensive side of the ball the last couple of years. Working with Jordan since he came in the portal from South Carolina, but a native of Atlanta. Phenomenal person, phenomenal player, very blessed, very grateful that he stayed with our program. In this day and age where there's a lot of opportunities to financially better yourself, sometimes a degree, relationships, starting jobs, the development that you're currently going under, your opportunity for the NFL at the current place that you have, sometimes that outweighs it. I don't want to speak to that decision. That's Jordan's decision, but we're certainly blessed by having that type of person, that type of player, and that type of future pro in our program on the offensive side. Darius McKenzie is a young man that I watched 2 springs ago. I remember watching linebacker tape from Maine, hearing that he was from Canada. Our linebacker coach, Cam Clemenson, is from Canada. I knew he would be fired up about this potential prospect. Came down on his official visit, met him with his father, and truthfully just got to see what type of serious person he is. He's going to be very successful in life outside of football, just a very serious person, attacks things, is a good critic of himself, not too harsh of a critic, but certainly demands the most out of himself. In a short amount of time, learned this defense and started playing at a high level, and you could see from week 1 to week 12, just the rate of improvement, the familiarity and the comfort, and not just being a great player, outstanding student, outstanding teammate, and outstanding leader. So very, very fortunate to have these two guys on our football team, and I'm very proud to be able to put them in the back seat yesterday, driving 2 hours down the road to represent us. There's some great young men. Our team has been working their tail off like every other team in the country. We've been trying to do the right things right. Lost a lot in the portal in December. Lost 19 players to the portal from December all the way through the spring portal window. 11 of those were starters, so you can do the math. Half of your starters were lost to the portal, and then there was a few others lost to graduation and just moving on to the NFL. Big shoes to fill. That is sports. It's a lot of coach cliche after this, but it is what it is. It could happen in the first series of the game. It could happen after the first game. It could happen due to injury. It could happen to a number of reasons. Next man steps up. I don't have much of a spot to sit there and take inventory. That's how I got my opportunity as a college football player, as a guy broke his hand, and either you're ready or you're not. So I'm really excited about these guys to get their opportunity. I know they're going to do well with it. I'm very pleased about what we did as a staff. It takes everybody in that building, recruiting staff, assistant coaches, to bring on the players that we brought on in a short amount of time in January and in May. And they have worked their absolute tails off the last 90 days. So I'm excited to get going here next week in fall camp. With that, I don't really have much else to say, so I'm just going to open it up for questions.
We'll open up the floor for questions. If you do have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. And for those of you joining us on Zoom online, please type your questions into the chat. We'll read them here in the room. And we've got a Zoom question. Coach, you and also for the players, you had 3 games last year that you had fourth quarter leads and weren't able to hold on. What's the one thing that you'd like to see this team do to try to avoid that this year?
Well, win them. We know that. But I think we've got to do the right things consistently in terms of eliminate our own mistakes. There's some penalties, personal fouls, There were some games there where we had some key injuries at those situations, but specifically, one, we didn't do a great job in a 2-minute drive against Arkansas State. We had some special teams errors, taking care of the football against Georgia Southern late. Those are the ones that I look at. From a coach's standpoint, we got better on the defensive side of the ball, but there was also some things late in the ball game that we need to learn from. Those are some painful experiences. They will repeat themselves if you don't learn from them. But those are some of the things. Playing cleaner football, if that answers your question. Late.
Same question for Jordan and Darius.
Yeah, man, like you said, it's just some of them were self-inflicted wounds with the penalties and the calls, that happens, and we're just going to try to do better from that. I think that cost us a good amount of games, close games, and we're going to do better.
Yeah, basically it all comes down to the little details, and that's what lost us games last year. But going into the offseason, we looked at everything that went wrong, and we've taken major strides and improvements just to fix everything that went on.
Coach, can you please address the quarterback situation going into camp?
Yeah. After spring ball ended, Gio Lopez, elected to go into the portal, went to North Carolina. The most important thing, we had a starter. He was bowl game MVP, Bishop Davenport. I knew that this was a potential issue a couple years ago when Gio signed. So wanted to bring Bishop in the summer before the 24 season so he could have a summer, an entire season, and a spring practice to get ready in case someone did leave after this last season. He didn't leave after the season. He left in the spring, but still had a guy in that position. So if we did lose somebody, we had a guy who had some college starts. So he had started at Utah State, So wanted to bring a guy in who had some experience because once I lost Trotter, Bradley, and McGee, I was going to be down to just Lopez, and I wanted 2 guys who had college starts in the room. And so we were able to have 2 guys with college starts in the room along with Hollins last year. And then when Lopez made the decision after spring to leave, it was back down to a guy who had one guy in the room who had college starts. So wanted to get in the portal, was fortunate Zach Pyron wanted to come back to the state of Alabama. So now I have 2 guys in that room who've had some college starts. I think that's important, having that experience. I've seen Jared. I know he hadn't had a lot of college action, but I've seen him a lot in fall camp, Jared Hollins, throughout last season and throughout this spring. I feel very blessed to have the 3 guys that we have. I think we're better than probably what we are on paper, but we got to go out and prove that.
We've got a Zoom question. This is for Darius. You and Blaine Myrick had big seasons last year. What do you have to do this year because you don't have quite the defensive line depth in front of you?
The next step is really just going out there and leading the defense and being able to execute our job at a higher level because as linebackers, if we can execute our job at a higher level, it makes it easier for the D-line, whether it's just taking off double teams from the O-line or just like setting the edge, just doing our 111, which helps the D-line and the secondary as a whole.
And then, Coach, we'll start with you for this question. What does it mean for you to have that Tulane game, coming back from 2023? Now you guys get to host it at home. What do you think that does for the city of Mobile?
I think it's great, to bring great opponents in, people that people want to see. There's some geographic relevance. There's a lot of people from Mobile that have relatives, friends themselves who went, Tulane, vice versa. Those 2 cities kind of have a similar, brother-sister kind of relationship, and I think it's good to have that program there. I think we should try to play as many local, regionalized games as we possibly can. But I have a tremendous amount of respect, always have had respect for Tulane University, but specifically Coach Summerall, having gone against him at Troy, knowing a few coaches on their staff.
And then for both the players, just kind of building off of that, what kind of challenge do you see, or do you like stepping up to that challenge, back-to-back weeks? You have Tulane and Auburn, the caliber of opponent, how do you guys prepare for that?
I think it's just a great opportunity to go out there and play some quality football. At the end of the day, we have to take it week by week, so we still got week 1, Morgan State, but week 2, week 3 is just going to be another opportunity to go out there and play some great football and show the world what we can do.
Yeah, man, it's football. Just always be prepared to play football.
Craig Stevenson, AL.com. Major, along those lines, playing Auburn for the first time, how meaningful is that to South Alabama football?
I think it's huge. I think we should play in state. I think we should play as much as we can in the state of Alabama. for a lot of different reasons I won't get into, some of the obvious ones, economic reasons, some of the sentimental reasons, because these guys grow up, wanting to play in state in front of their families, be in front of their support systems that have helped them get to college. They want to play. They don't want to play 15 hours away where their parents have to spend $2,000 to go see them play. That I think the more we can do that, the better. I think it's great for our guys to be able to play in Jordan-Hare. Love to play in Bryant-Denny. Anywhere in our great state, I'd love to go play. I think it's great for Alabamians.
Hey, Coach, Simone, News 5 Mobile. To follow that up, is there something to be said about Auburn's willingness to play South Alabama and other, non-P4 teams, but really, I mean, obviously, the ones that are available in the state of Alabama, whereas there's another opportunity, like in a stadium you just mentioned, where that's not really happening in the state?
Yeah, I don't know the politics of it all. I'm a coach. I'm not trying to dismiss myself. I know there's a lot of things with presidents, with systems and trustees and athletic directors and contracts and this, that, and the other. I just know as a former player and as a coach, you're seeing all the moms and dads. It's really good when people can drive 3 hours and not have to spend a bunch of money on a hotel room and go back and still use the same day to see their kids and be back for church the next day. Sometimes it's just that simple. It doesn't have to be about dollars. It's just, hell, I can go drive 3 hours, see my kid, and be home and be at church tomorrow morning. So, I mean, sometimes it's really that, simple. I mean, at the end of the day, these are kids. Their parents, I know they're on TV a lot, but sometimes a parent just wants to be able to go see their child play.
Got a Zoom question for you, Coach, and for Jordan. Your team averaged about 35 points a game over the last half of the season. Was it a matter of people getting healthy, or was it a matter of just things starting to fall together offensively?
Well, I think it's a combination of, is this for Jordan or for? Both of you. Okay, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Just putting all the pieces together for real. The chemistry then got better. Just everything gotten better, and just playing ball out there, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just however you want to frame the question. We scored 87 points in week 3 and 45 in week 4, and averaged 35 in the last 6. So just, however you want to look at the numbers, stats can be twisted every which way. We scored throughout the year.
Any other questions from the floor? Coach and the players will be available for one-on-ones for just a few minutes afterwards. Coach, guys, we appreciate it. Good luck to you this season.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Y'all for having us.